Welcome back everyone. My name is Sagar and in this video we will be learning about some important keywords in Java. So first of all we will learn about static, then this and then super keyword. So if you are following our course then I think you already know about this and super keyword. So first of all we will focus on this static keyword. So what is a static thing? So you can just search on the internet. Static thing means that something is particular. Static means something that is fixed, right? So in our programming you can just see, first of all we have our main method and that is static. So in our programming if we have some static thing, then that means this is a part of our class and not the object of our class. So suppose for example if we have a student class, so there is our student class and let me just make it an inner class. So suppose this is our student class, and what property can a student have? A student can have its name and it can also have a roll number and it can also have a college name or suppose school name. So suppose I am defining here roll number. So is this thing a static? No, this thing cannot be static because this is not a part of our student. This is a part of a particular student. That means object of a student. So if I am creating object of our student, so object, suppose this is my student one, new student, and I have to now define here a roll number. So roll number will be equal to suppose 1, and this is not a part of our student whole class. But if we are defining here string college name, and this should be now a static thing, and that is because all the students have the same college name, right? If we are talking about a particular case. So this is lecture 33 and there is a student class inside of this lecture, and suppose all the students inside this have a particular same college name. So we can just define that this thing is now a static thing. That means if it is a static, then it is a part of our student class, and you can also see this thing is now a property of the student. That means this is a property of student object, and if you want to access any student roll number, then first of all we need the object of the student class, right? So this is our s1 and it is showing here the error, and this is because we have this inner class. So suppose I will create it here, and suppose now you want to access this roll number, so you cannot just access it directly. So suppose I am writing this student dot, you can just see roll number. No, I cannot access this roll number, but now this college name is now a static thing. That means it is a part of our student whole class, and that's why I can access this college name without creating the object of this student class. But as you can see, it is not defined here. That is why it is showing here an error. So suppose I am defining some default value. Okay, let me just print it out. So now you can see there is no error, and if I'm not defining it, then it will just give me a runtime error. So let me just check, and I think no, it will not give me a runtime error. It will just return me default value. Okay, you can see default value is null, right? So after that, if you want to access the property of the student, then you can see this is not a static thing. That means now we have to create an object. So this thing will be now particular for all the student objects, right? So s1 have its own roll number, and s1 dot roll number equal to 1, and after that I can just do the same thing, s2 dot roll number. So now you can see s1 and s2 are two different objects and they have their different roll number. But suppose in any case if I am defining that static thing from my class object, so suppose I am doing this thing s1 dot college name. Okay, why it is not showing here college name? So suppose I am writing here some this ABC college, so it is showing here some warning, but I will just ignore it. So suppose I am defining this college name from my first student object, then that means if I am accessing this college name from my second object, so this will be the same college name. So suppose I am writing it here s2 dot college name. So as you can see here, this will be now a common thing. This ABC will be now common for both the students. So s1 dot college name is ABC, but I can now see s2 dot college name will be same because I don't have to access it like this. I can just define here student dot college name, and this will be the same thing. Let me just show you. So college name will be s2 dot college name will be ABC, and now you can see we are not defining it here. It is a static thing and it will be for whole class, and I am defining it with my first student object. So I hope now you understand this static thing, and you can also see this main method is also static, and that is because our compiler don't want to just create multiple instances of this main method. This should be now one only for our whole this class. So let me just show you what happened in our memory. So suppose we are creating this S1 object. So this is our S1 object, that means our first student object, and it will have its roll number and also student name. So suppose name. So this will have its roll number and name itself. And after that, we are creating here S2. So it will also have its roll number and name. But if we are defining this static thing, so static thing will be stored separately. So this is our static thing, and it is your college name. College name. And after that, when we are accessing this college name from this S1 and S2, so there will be some, yeah, object reference here that will be pointing to this college name that is stored separately from these objects. So there will be a reference to this college name object. Okay, and this is something that is common to our whole classes. So if we are creating more objects, then they will also point to this static thing. Okay, so first of all, this was our static field, and you can also create static functions. So suppose there is a static function void reading. So every student can read, right? So there should be a static thing. Mm, reading. So this is now a static thing, and we don't need to create an object to access this reading. So what a student is reading, so we will just get this thing here. So we don't need to create an object to get this static thing. And you can also define here any subclass, and that can be also static, not subclass, it is your inner class. So static, and that's it. Now you can see there is no error, and that is because previously if we are defining here a non-static thing, then that means to access this class we need to create an object of this lecture 32, because it is inside this lecture. And if we want to access this student class, then first of all we need the object of this lecture 33. So you can also define it here, but if you want to access it without creating the object, then you can define it static class. So after that, I hope now you understand this thing. And there is also a static block, and this is not much asked in your interviews, but this static field, static method are important thing. And after that, let me just show you about super and this keyword. So first of all, in our previous example, go watch out that video first, our inheritance, abstract classes and interfaces video. So this is I think okay, this is our children class, and we can access the parent class here. So this is our dog class, and if you want to access the object of our parent class, then inside of this dog class. So this dog is our children class of this animal, and if you want to access any property of our parent class, that is not private. So what we can do is super dot, and now you can see eat. So super means that we are accessing the parent, so it can be also our interface, and here it is a class. So animal class dot eat. So first of all, here we will print animal is eating, then dog is eating. So I already told you about this thing, and if you don't know, then first of all you can watch our oops playlist. It is almost about to complete, and this was about our super keyword, and there is also our this keyword. So this means that we are accessing the current object. So it is showing here a recursion, and that is because we are accessing this eat method inside of this eat method. So this will be our part of recursion, and we will cover that later. So this means that we are accessing the current object. So suppose if I am defining here some field here, suppose dog name, and we can access it here. So this dot name, and if we have multiple instances of this name, and we can just use this keyword to differentiate. So eat, and I can also define here not int. Okay, this should int name and int name, and after that now you can see I can just do this thing. So now you can see there are two name variables, so they have the same name. This is also name, and this is also name, and this one is a field and this one is a parameter, as you can see. So there are two different name things, but I am accessing them differently. So if I am doing this, then our compiler will just get confused, and it will only access this, that is a parameter. But suppose in any case, if you want to access this field, or you can say property, or you can also say member, then you can just define here this dot, and now you can see name, eat, and this all of these functions are a part of our this dog class. And now you can see there is no error. Also this text is highlighted, and that is because it is a field now. So this means current object, and super means the parent object. I hope now you understand all these three keywords, and that is it about today, everyone. If you like this video, then do subscribe to our channel, and thank you for watching.